Hello and welcome to SimNews.TV. I'm the Scrutineer and I'm here telling you everything there is to know about GPVWC's Super League and the upgrades and the engine choices and everything that goes into that series, because it's much more of a team game than just the driver. Most series are just all about can the driver get to the end the quickest with the same cars. This is not like that. This is as real as it possibly gets in sim racing, and you need the whole team, and they upgrade they upgrade the engines, they upgrade the car, they do tyre choices, they got engine choices to last them throughout the season. So many different things that go on, but that's what this show is here about. So we're coming up to round 7 now, and we're talking Canada. So this is an exciting time because we've just come off the back of Monaco. Now Monaco was obviously a very different track. Lots of things that are very different to anything else on the calendar. So we saw a lot of people using low powered engines and getting that out of the equation. Quite a lot of teams bought upgrades, which I was quite surprised about, and not so many engine manufacturers did though. But that means they're all upgrading for Canada this time out. So we'll talk you through all that. So we're going to go through the car upgrades, we're going to go through the engine upgrades, we're going to go through the engine choices and the tyre choices of all the teams ahead of tomorrow's Super League race in Canada. Make sure you watch that on the GPVWC YouTube channel. You can catch us as well if you haven't seen anything of the rest of the series. Make sure you look below. We've got myself. I've been back every time before the races, and there is the Super League review show telling you everything there is to know about each race as it went through, so you can catch up on them, and then you'll be really caught up with for tomorrow. It's been such a great series already. So many brilliant drivers, so many brilliant teams. It's great to watch. So without further ado, let's crack on and get through the car upgrades. So, talking car upgrades, we're going to go through championship order. So we're going to talk Vodball first. They lead the current standings, and they didn't bring any upgrades last time out, but they have brought quite a lot this time out. So they now have a new total of 128 development points on the car. Remember, we're not doing anything to do with the pit crew in this at all, because that doesn't actually impact the car itself, although we have seen that already making a difference for, say, Nordjylland already this time out at Monaco. I'm sure we'll see it happening again further on, but it's a minute thing compared to what you're going to watch that you might not be able to see on track as easily. So they got 128 points, that's 44 points for development since the last time they developed. So they put front wing downforce on, they put diffuser downforce on, and a very small weight upgrade. So people may question that that's 3, but actually that's 1 from a little while ago by the looks of it, and then 2 right up to the deadline here. So it's just about doable, but yeah, it's surprising. But nonetheless, 128 points. Nordjylland second in the standings. They didn't bring any upgrades here because they brought it to Monaco, so they've got 105 points. Madcape are third in the standings. They also didn't bring anything to this round. They brought it all to Monaco. They got 54 points, so still the lowest of any team on the grid development points-wise. Wouters, they sit in 4th. They have had no upgrades as well, and they've got 108. Hawkeye also haven't brought any upgrades. They had 114 last time out, and they still have. Kerno sit there with 112, and they've also not brought any upgrades to this round. Next one out there, Red Archer, thank you. Yes, you have brought some upgrades. So they've got now 106 as their new total. They've brought 25 points worth of development on the car this time out, and that's in the form of body drag, which is new for them, and more, less weight, so more weight reduction. That actually brings them to 56% weight reduction, which is the most of anyone on the grid, so they've got the lightest car of any. Adonis, next up, they've got 112, the same as Kerno, but they have no upgrades on that car this time out. Street Fighter, they brought diffuser downforce, and they brought 15 points worth. They also brought a small upgrade last time out, so they're doing 1 each time, and they got 125 overall. And Woods, last time out we saw them should have brought some upgrades, but they only brought 1 the race before. We were expecting them to bring 1 last time and they haven't, but they have brought it this time out. So they brought us front wing drag. So they the only team to have done that one so far. So that's going to be exciting to see how that works out for them. And that's 22 points worth, so that brings them a total of 89 now. Storm, second from bottom in the standings, and they did big upgrades here, so they brought diffuser downforce and rear wing downforce as well. So that's 35 points worth, so makes them up to 114, which boosts them right up to like 3rd total of anybody. Green Stripes popping up the table, but they brought no upgrades here as well, and they've got 97 points worth of upgrades in total. Interesting points there, like I said, with Woods being the only one with the rear wing drag. They are also the only team now not to have done front wing downforce, which is interesting because we think, and what we've seen from everything so far, we think that is the best upgrade to go for. It seems to make the most difference to the car. Everyone else seems to have started following suit. I'm expecting them to do that next time out. Would make sense to have that upgrade for Silverstone, so fingers crossed they've got that coming. And they're also the only team not to have done the tyre change, the pit speed. So they've got the slowest pit crew. It doesn't matter as much, but it's interesting it's the only team to have not done it so far. Moving on though, we now got on to engine upgrades. So moving into the engine upgrades, we've got, last time out we only saw Talos bring anything, whereas normally we'd see Talos, Martex and Trinity all on the same cycle. That changed, so Talos brought theirs and they had 66 and they're still at that because they haven't been able to get an upgrade in for this time. Martex have brought the upgrade that we expected last time to this round, so they brought more power, so they've now got 49% power, and that gives them a total of 72 overall. Trinity, they brought upgrades here as well, so they've now also gone the power route, which is interesting. So they brought 31% power to that car, which improves the brake horsepower, and they've got 77 overall, so that's more than Martex and more than Talos. And Valiant, they also carried on with doing their power, so they've got 53% worth of power, and that's 79 in total. Interesting, if you remember, Talos were the only one who have got the best fuel consumption of anybody. They upgraded that quite big at the start, and Trinity are the only ones to have upgraded the boost, so they've got the highest boost setting as well, which is, you know, it's exciting to see that everyone's going slightly different routes, and Valiant has the most power. So that's the engines upgraded now. So we would expect next time out though that Talos will get an upgrade for Silverstone, whereas the other three can't because they've all upgraded over here. That's going to be exciting as well. But Talos is now the one that's on the opposite sync to everybody else. So we could see the Talos teams help every other round being a bit better off, like we did see with the Valiant teams when they were off cycle. So remember, that is engine upgrades. If you like all this, remember to subscribe below. You'll be able to see what happened last time out and the time before and that sort of stuff. Make sure you catch our channel. We've got so much more stuff coming up. Hit subscribe. We've still got a few bits coming up tonight though, so we've still got engine choices and tyre choices to come. So we shall move on to engine choices. So the teams all get 6 engines per car per season, and they have to make sure those last on basically. So we've got them, last time out we saw an awful lot of teams choosing to use very used engines at Monaco because it's not a power track. Having a worn engine means that your brake horsepower is lowered, so at Monaco though it negates that really. Whereas here, where it's Canada and we really want to use a lot of power down those big back straights, everyone sees, a lot of people have brought fresh engines to this event, so it's going to be a little bit quicker because there's an awful lot more who have just got 100% their engines. So going down the standings again, we go with Vodball. They've both got 100% engines, new units in the back of Rudy and Risto's cars. You've got Nordstrom, second in the standings. They've also got 2 new units as well in Fidek and Gaia's cars. Madcape third, they haven't quite got 2 new units. They've got one with 99% for their second drive. Roland maybe, is Walker back? We don't quite know yet. I don't think, do they know? They didn't last time. We'll find out who's driving that second car. And 68% on the Morris car as well, which is pretty much the points maker for that team at the moment. Walters, they're next up, and they brought 2 new units. Hawkeye, bless them, seem to have forgotten about the engines. That's all I can assume, is that they haven't changed the engines from Monaco. They have to decide your engine choices the Friday before the race, and it's locked in. They seem to have forgotten that, and the engines are still in there. So Cooper starts the race with an 8% engine, yes, 8, and Olsen starts with 14. Now that doesn't necessarily mean they're going to break down, but they're going to be really low on power because that takes it off to start with, and they're going to have to be really, really careful with those engines. Now, depending on who you talk to, I've got some people telling me that they're not going to last past 25 laps if you're in Cooper's car, but other people telling me they can get to the end. You just need to really work out the rev limit for them. So it's going to be a real struggle just to get to the end for those cars, let alone in any decent points playing positions. So that's a huge team error, and this is what I was getting at with it being a big team game and not just a driver's championship. Kerno, they're next up, and they have brought 2 new engines as well to this event. Red Archer haven't brought 2 new engines, but they have kept with quite powerful engines, so they're using a 69% on Hinds and a 70 on Route Kilk. So those 2, they've had one race worth on those, and they're going to last another 2 yet, including this one, realistically. So that's not too bad. They're not far off. They haven't got the problems that Hawkeye have got, for example, they'll be a little bit down on power, but we're talking 5, 6, 7 brake horsepower, somewhere around that sort of area. It's not going to be huge amounts, but it can make a difference. Adonis, they brought 2 brand new units to this event as well. Street Fighter seem to have done the same maybe as Hawkeye. Not sure, it might be tactical. The engines will, should survive. We've seen engines survive at 30%, but so Hull has got a 40% engine and Franchik has a 30% engine. We did see it last time out. Rudy Van Buren won Monaco on a 30% engine, but it's slightly more taxing here on the engines. But they should both be fine. They're just a bit down on power compared to other teams. Woods, they've also brought 2 brand new units. Storm have brought 2 brand new units, and Green Stripes have also brought 2 brand new units. So that's quite a lot of teams there. There's only actually 4 teams that haven't got new units, which really shows them that actually they're going to be an awful lot down on power compared to these guys, because everyone else has got brand new units with these massive power supplies. Now the difference, compared to some, for example, the most powerful engine on the grid just brake horsepower wise is the Valiant. If you've got a brand new unit of that, you've got about 828 brake horsepower. If you're in Cooper's car, for example, you've only got 800 at the moment. So that's a huge difference just in power, particularly on those straights. So I do feel for them, but the end isn't done. Wall of Champions can take an awful lot of drivers out, get to that finish, guys, and who knows what on earth you could get. Those points could make a massive difference at the end of the season. Tyres. Now we've seen this being the absolute be-all and end-all so far this season. Everyone picking different tyres. They've got 5 tyre choices, and they have to pick them as well the Friday before. Now, this time out, it seems to be the obvious choice. Everybody's gone the same route, which is fantastic. Doesn't mean they have to use them in the same way. So everyone has picked the ultra soft, the super soft, and the soft tyres. But they don't have to use all 3. They have to use 2. They don't have to use all 3. But even when we've seen races like this in the past, we've seen teams go massively different ways of using these tyres. We've seen people like Red Archer who decide to use pretty much all ultra softs near enough all the race because they can keep them lasting. We've seen other people having to use soft tyres because they need to go longer, but equally we've seen other people use soft tyres because they can keep the pace with them as well as the super soft. Most people probably go ultra soft for qualifying, which is what you're going to need as the tyre for qualifying, and then probably hit the super softs for the rest of the race. That seems to be the sort of norm, but if you can get those ultra soft lasting, then they might be worth the tyre, and equally if you can get the softs to a good pace, they could be worth going for. So we'll really see what everyone's made of. We don't know how many pit stops everyone's going to do. Could be quite a lot here, just because of the pace drop off, and it makes such a big difference on a high speed track like this. So that's pretty much everything you need to know for tomorrow's race. You've got quite a lot of cars there that haven't been upgraded, but there's a handful that have been. You've got quite a lot of engines that have been upgraded, and you've got most of the cars with new engines, and everybody with the same tyres. So it's going to be a brilliant race to see. I love Canada. Last year though, it rained, and we had massive problems in the rain. We've already seen it in Formula Challenge on Tuesday night, and that means that there might be a bit of rain come tomorrow night. We shall see. I'm excited to watch, and I hope you will join me. Subscribe below, make sure you catch us before every round, keep you massively informed for this event. You can catch the actual race on GPVWC's YouTube channel, and a week later on the Thursday you can also catch the Super League show, reviewing it on this channel here on SimNews.TV. We've also got lots of other shows for you. Parker's Pit Stop coming back with some great interviews coming up, including a Race to Vegas driver, and also so we've also got Parker's Pit Stop coming up as well. He's got some interesting interviews coming up over the next couple of weeks, including Race to Vegas drivers. We've also then got the Super Cup show as well the night before the Super League show. Lots of stuff coming up. Keep subscribing to the channel and you will be informed, and we will tell you everything that's happening around GPVWC and everything else sim racing in general. I've been Mike Pittman for the Scrutineer, and I shall see you soon.